yeah, sorry. Sorry about Jersey, guys.
Brandon, do you have it or no?
I got it. Say it went from 16 to 5.
If it makes you feel
We have
any
New
better,
Jersey.
I live in
We
the
found
red
the
part.
historical pads right up.
Tom, if you can show us Jersey and Illinois, because this is wild what I just saw here.
Let's see, we got Jersey up right here. It was a 16-point victory, to be exact, 15.9%. And this year, it's 5.
4.9.
Yep.
Tom, can you go to New York? Can we look at New York and California? Of course, they're not. But I just want to know, he spent a lot of time in New York. What does it look like comparable to 2020?
Look at that.
Wow, look at that. Look at that. 90% in, 850 left, and he already has more votes this year than 2020. 7% more votes than 2020 in New York.
6.
Yeah, that's correct.
Amazing.
And the New York Times is reporting, as of 10 minutes ago, a 90% probability that he will win the popular vote by 1 point, even when the avalanche of votes is counted from California.
Wow.
Who said that?
What? New York Times.
New York Times said that.
What?
Yeah. That's crazy. He's going to win the popular vote by 1 point.
Someone is going to lose job.
What are we talking about?
He wins the popular vote because all of the states, so Kamala still wins New York, but you can see how narrow it is this time versus last time.
Wow.
So when you count everything up on a national basis, New York Times is saying there's a 90% probability right now he will win the popular vote by a little more than 1%.
So let me ask you, Tom. It's 11:55 right now, Eastern Standard Time. 8:55 Pacific Standard Time. What's left for a decision to be made tonight?
So there is still significant votes coming in Wisconsin, but he's extending his lead there. Votes are coming in Michigan over the next hour before, I think, does Alaska close in exact 1 a.m. our time? So in an hour and 5 minutes, Alaska will close. I think we will have a full call at that point.
Do you think, do we have the folks at Rasmussen available?
Yes, if you like, yeah, we can.
I'd love to. If you can put him in, you're saying, is it the
I can
Mitchell?
get him.
I would like to have him come in, if he can. Rasmussen, respected poll. I wonder what he's going to be saying about what's going on. I'd like to hear from him.
Please stand by.
Okay, if we can get the folks from Rasmussen on, that'd be great. Brandon, go for it. This is what? This is Jersey? She's only got 190,000 vote lead. Versus in 2020 was a big victory. I mean, look at that, guys. By the way, this may not just be a 2024 thing. The shift may be taking place in a lot of different states. By the way, just for shits and giggles, Rob, can you pull up California, if you can pull them up real quick. What does California look like? Tom, can you pull up California? Can we look at California? For the hell of it. Is anything moving in California? I wonder if the people that left, are there any conservatives left in California? Look at that. 63, it only moved 4. 34, it only moved 4. California is still going to stay California, folks. For those of you guys that are wondering, Ricky, you got to do something, Ricky. Thank God you live in Bakersfield. If it wasn't Bakersfield, you're red. Kern County is red. San Diego as well. Whoever said San Diego. Great city.
But this is Oregon. Look what's happening in Oregon. 74% counted, Pat. It's a 5-point shift.
That is wild. She is down 4.8. But again, Tom, it matters what's going to happen with Portland, Salem, and Eugene. Portland is relatively a heavily left community. No, Tom?
Absolutely. But interestingly, Washington State, it's stable.
When do you think we'll hear about Pennsylvania?
Rob Slack, you the card.
Patrick, you know when they lose, they're going to scream racism and misogyny, right? That's all they're going to scream. Racism, misogyny. It's not going to have anything to do with her policy. It's not going to do anything to do that she was a bad candidate. It's not going to have anything to do with the fact that she ran on abortion, like you said, killing children.
That's right.
It's not going to have anything to do that they ran on sexualizing your children, kicking God out of the public square, allowing 15 million illegals to come over. They're going to tell America that Kamala Harris lost because she was black, which is a lie, and because she's a woman. That's the lie they're going to tell. But y'all tell the truth. We're going to tell people that we voted against Kamala Harris because she was crazy as hell. And we didn't want her.
And she's leftist.
Yeah.
Rob has another Joy Reid clip, folks. For Christian people in the room here, please drop a prayer for her. Rob, we don't want her to lose her mind. Please go ahead and play this clip. Go for it.
This on this set numerous times is that you have a state where you've got a 6-week abortion or a 12-week abortion. I think theirs might be 12 weeks.
Yep.
But it's a state where women lost their reproductive rights, where there was a very heavy push to get women to focus on not putting in place, re-electing, putting back into the White House the person who was responsible for taking those rights away and restoring them. But that message obviously was not enough to get enough white women to vote for Vice President Harris, a fellow woman. This will be the second opportunity that white women in this country have to change the way that they interact with the patriarchy. And, God bless Shannon Watts, who has tried to have that conversation. But if people aren't receptive to it, and if people vote more party line or more on race than on gender and on protecting their gender, there's really not much more that you can do but tell people what to do.
Think about how she talks. Listen to how binary. So in her mind, there are oppressors, oppressed. It's all about that. It's either you're a victim or you're an oppressor. And that's literally how she sees it. It's the prism in which she sees the entire world. And just the rest of us know that the world is not that reductive. She's so reductive in her outlook, and it's so condescending because nobody could believe that the world at the level of detail is that reductive.
Hello?
It doesn't make any sense. Good guys, bad guys. It's literally what it is. Good guys, bad guys.
Right? What are they going to say?
Rob, can you pull up the clip? So watch this here, folks, because we're talking, I was with Pierce a couple days ago, and I'm talking to him. If I can get your attention, folks. Some of you guys are speaking. Guys, in this room, if you want to network, go outside. Here, let's stay with us. I'm talking to Pierce, and he asked me a question about what he thinks is going to happen post-election. I think today, for as long as Trump is a candidate, he's the #1 most hated man in America by the establishment. If Trump wins tonight, tomorrow he drops to #3. Because the #1 most hated man in America will be Musk, 2 will be J.D. Vance, he will be 3. Yeah. Rachel Maddow said the following yesterday. Rob, can you pull up the clip of Rachel Maddow? Rachel Maddow is losing her mind over the amount of influence that Elon Musk has, and she doesn't know what to do with it. She has no idea what to do with it. Watch this clip of what Maddow thinks needs to happen to Elon Musk. Go ahead, Rob.
Even if Trump doesn't win, the Defense Department and NASA are going to need a new arrangement for all their rockets and for all the multi-billion-dollar contracts Elon Musk's companies have with the U.S. government. The U.S. government is going to have to either, unwind from all of those contracts, or Elon Musk's companies are going to have to unwind from him. This is an untenable reality in national security terms, now that we know what we know about Elon Musk.
About what's going to happen in the future is becoming a
something heavily so, to the point where they hate kind of what some of the people there really hate, the type of control that the current Democratic Party wants to exert over them. So you can see some strange results in a place like New Hampshire.
Live free or die.
Live free or die, exactly.
There's a little update from James O'Keefe. So he's been in Lauren Township, New Jersey, and he was interviewing an election official who's been trying to deliver another machine to gives location, where voters have been waiting for 4 hours. Voters in their cars are preventing the delivery.
Okay.
And he's got video of it, and that's from James O'Keefe.
Okay, I'll check that out here in just a minute. Laughing Man for $500 freaking dollars, you mad lad. Says nothing. I can't do a Rippa clip right now. Too many moving parts to get Rippa's dumbass on here. And then Kevin with a 500 and says for the nerves, also for the Cobra chair. Holy crap! What is wrong with you guys? Right here is a key thing that it's small and it's insignificant in the big scheme of things. But if you start to see trends like this helps. So this is just a county in Kentucky, and over 95% in. Trump at 77.7, Harris at 21. In 2020, it was 74.9. So that's a slight shift towards Trump. So those are little things that we want to pay attention to, but in isolation, they don't mean a lot until we start to see a pattern there. You know what I mean? Willie Will for $500. It says nothing. It says nothing. Good Lord.
I have a question about trends.
By the way, I am like everybody here is getting like, you know, a piece of the puzzle. So piece of the pie, whatever you want to call it tonight.
Oh shit! Hell yeah, Willie Will, yeah.
But I have a question about trends. So what was
you're gonna order me a pizza?
Yeah, I'll order you a pizza.
Order me a pizza.
Go ahead, Savvy.
Georgia was blue last time, correct?
Well, yes. Technically, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The map just updated on Google, and they're doing an early showing of it going red, 54 to 45.
There we go. Yeah.
That's not a lot pulled in, but
right.
Based on what's being reported.
Oh, it just went blue. It just went blue.
I love it. This is fun to me. I just thought it was fascinating, and I was like,
this is not them projecting anything. This is based off the current, like,
right.
They have,
Yeah. Let's see. All right, so we're gonna. I can't keep that.
I think if it's, I think Google's using the AP, like whatever AP's projecting they'll do. So like Indiana, Kentucky, I believe those are solid red because they have projected that will be the case. The other ones right now they've got the kind of light shade because they're still counting and haven't actually projected a winner.
I wouldn't trust Google anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
not even if they're using outside sources.
I personally, if Trump loses Georgia, I personally blame Savvy. So it was red when you started, and then you said something.
I know.
Speaking of women, nobody wants here. Dan Vasquez here. Why the fuck is somebody who's not even from America here?
Hey, listen, Krista kept bugging me. Come on in. Come on over. Jeremy
what the fuck is on
your
head? What the hell is that?
I was just out of
I'm
the
just
shower.
leaving the super chat. I'm leaving the super chat.
Was your hair? Why is it your hair in curlers right now?
I was just out of the shower, and Krista was like, "Jeremy wants you here with Gary. Come on in." I was like, "Fine." I was ready to go to bed. So I heard that Jeremy.
Wait. You have a shower? I thought you like bathed in a dirty pond outside of your shanty town.
Oh yeah, man. We have running water now.
Don't you guys just get different colored stones and put them in a pot? Isn't that how you
listen.
there in Brazil?
I don't know what's happening. I heard that Jeremy was doing this big stream for something called Erection Day. I was like,
it's Erection Day.
This sounds fun. So here I am. Let's go.
Okay, so we do have the vote. The map is going to update in real time right now. And again, temper expectations, okay? Because as Savvy just proved, just because a state is one color doesn't mean that it's going to remain that color. So this is in real time.
Remember like 10 o'clock last, like 4 years ago, I guess? Like Texas was still blue, you know, as of like 10 or 11 o'clock based on the report. So a lot of it depends on where they're getting it from. For Georgia, like I said earlier, because of some of those counties around Atlanta are often some of the kind of later ones to get all their shit in. Now they're dealing with the fake bomb threats or whatever the hell.
Yeah. What are you talking about? They had an electric heater. We played the clip earlier. You had Raffensperger talking about, well, we had in one of the locations an electric heater because it was cold and it blew out the EMS election system. So.
Yeah. So right now, it looks like most polls are going to be closing. Let's see. We're 15. So I got so many updates on my feed, and my feed is kind of jacked up right now. Like I'm getting reports from like hours ago on my feed. So I'm trying to see. I want to go to that James O'Keefe thing that you were talking about. So let me pull this up. So James O'Keefe, I got it. I'm on his Twitter account now. So let's go over here, see what we got. Is this it? Right here?
Yes. Yep, that's it.
Okay.
I don't think his watermark is big enough.
Yeah, I heard that.
They need another one. They need another voting machine. We're here, and they're trying to get a truck through to a voting machine to this location right here, and the truck is stuck. This is wild. They can't actually get the truck with the voting machine through. This is absolutely wild. The guy just said he's trying to get a voting machine through, but he can't get it through. Wow. In Mount Laurel, New Jersey, here, this is James O'Keefe. They can't get the voting machine through because the cars are all jammed up here. And people are waiting in line for 4 hours.
That's a hell of a watermark. I got to give him credit.
Are you about to go vote now?
Who is this again?
Yeah,
Is
wait
it
for
James
hours.
O'Keefe? I think it is. I'm not clear on this.
Hey, did you guys wait for hours to vote?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, 4 hours.
I mean,
and that was, we
And we
started
were
over
right
here, not
over
even
here.
over there.
Well, this guy's trying to get his voting machines, but he can't get through because there's a traffic jam.
Coming this way, yeah.
The cars are going the other way.
Hey, do you guys know
I
that there's a
don't
guy
know.
trying to get a voting machine
This is
through?
I think there's, maybe you
No.
should go to the cars and
insane.
tell them that instead of
I
us.
know.
You know?
Right,
Yeah,
but they've already said that. They've said what they're going to do. They're going to go to the streets. They're going to create the rioting. You talk to a verbal riot. I mean, they've boarded up. You see different states, different cities that are preparing, the grassroots organizations. You'll have BLM, Antifa. You'll have even Congress.
So,
Grassroots
George,
organization. You mean the?
Go ahead, Gary.
You mean the outlets for the Democratic Party? That are
Yeah,
getting mobilized?
exactly.
Yeah.
And look at Virginia.
grassroots.
Virginia's now got 4% reporting, and Trump is leading. And New Hampshire's just starting to report in, and he's leading. You're going to have a lot of people who are going to use polls. They're going to try to use the polls to scare the shit out of people so they can go home. But yeah,
Don't go home.
Yeah,
So
June-
how's
Stay
it
in
going
line.
right now? How, fill me in. Are you
We
winning?
literally
son?
know nothing more than
Yeah.
we knew
We know nothing.
No,
5 hours
Yeah.
ago.
they just started reporting. Yeah,
Yeah, we don't know anything. So like this live map is a real time map of showing you how the voting is coming in as it's being reported from the Associated Press.
Okay.
So like right now, you see how Kentucky, or you see the one IN and KY, because you don't know what these fucking places are. Those are states now that they're fully shaded red. They have officially been called for Donald Trump. If it's fully shaded blue, that means it's been officially called for Kamala Harris. If it's a
and
light
by-
shade,
And by officially, just so you know, it doesn't mean the government has said anything. It
No,
just means
report.
Right.
different
Yeah.
outlets in the media. Usually, most of them come around the same time. Some of them take longer than others. But
Yeah.
media outlets have determined based on sometimes it's exit polling data, sometimes it's history, sometimes it's things that we kind of know going in.
Yep.
They've officially projected those states for Trump.
right. And so the lighter shades are the ones that they could go either way right now, but they're currently counting. So this is all
Just want
going
to
to
point
be
out that map started out with 50 Shades of Gray.
Hey. Correction day.
the fact that Ryan laughed at that. I'm not sure. If
I win.
I'm
I
not
should go
sure.
home
Like
right
the fact
now.
that
Good night,
Ryan
ladies and
laughed
gentlemen.
out
Try the
loud.
meal.
Ryan laughed out loud. That is awful.
With the exception of me, that's the funniest thing that's been said tonight.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll see. Okay, so let's see where we're at. The most Democratic votes in Florida have been counted. So, like right here, the most Democratic votes in Florida have been counted. Early votes in Miami, Broward, Tampa, Jacksonville, Orlando, and Tallahassee. Trump +7 right now. So Trump's going to win Florida. We know that. It's a matter of how much does he win Florida by. And if the most Democratic votes in Florida have already been counted and Trump is up by 7, I don't know what he was projected to win Florida by, and I don't know what he won Florida by in 2020. Was it like 10%? I can't remember for sure. So that's, one element of it that we will have to keep.
Engage autism. Find the number.
Yes, Savvy, get that autism to work.
Oh, well, I have another view actually that gives you a visual.
Okay.
For the same Florida data that was just put out.
You know, Savvy, if you use the AP map, it's got more data you could drill down into. It's a better map for it. You might like it more.
Savvy's autism is only rivaled by Ryan's when it comes to certain things. So just it's next level.
Weaponized autism is a beautiful thing.
It really is. It really is. Let's see. Mike Zero Sources sources state that Jeremy knows all about the KY. What is this right here? Hang on just a minute. Let's see this.
Joe Biden won independent voters in Georgia when he won the state by 9 points. So we've seen a swing of 20 points towards Trump in terms of the margin, from 9-point advantage 4 years ago with independence for Biden to now an 11-point advantage with independence for Trump in Georgia.
In Minecraft. So CNN is reporting a massive 20-point swing towards Trump among independents in Georgia. That is the type of data that we can take as a huge shift right there. That is a huge positive, all right? So that's good news right there, and that's what I was talking about with certain data dumps that we can see as far as trends go. Savvy, what did you have?
It's the one above Hailstorm in the private chat. Hizzy's tweets.
Okay.
There's a different view of the Florida map, and then it's got some other numbers on it too.
Okay, give me
For
just
the
a second.
visual learners out there.
WDW Pro 450 says, Jeremy, I have watched your entry into political podcasts over the cycle and your skyrocketing success with tremendous joy. Love to everyone on the panel. Let's save free speech tonight. Vote, vote, vote. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Congratulations on the success of your channel as well, man. You guys are kicking ass over there. Love to see it. And listen, as Gary has said multiple times, if we are the hope, then we're all fucked. So
yeah, you kind of are.
Yeah, I know, and we're in big trouble if that's the case.
Yeah, man.
But I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it, and it has been this has been a fun show to see it evolve over the last few years, and we'll see how it continues to go. People have said, like, what are you going to do after tonight, Jeremy? Dude, there's so much content.
Is it going to be happy tissues or sad tissues?
Yeah, I know. Really, I mean, one thing's for sure.
I've got whiskey and champagne. So.
Yeah, I can guarantee I'll still be playing video games, and I still got a channel over there with Geeks and Gamers, so we'll see what happens. But
life goes on.
I feel like tonight we're gonna have a good night. I feel very good about it. My nerves are only because I was very confident yesterday, and it's not that I'm not as confident today. It's that I'm worried about what is in store for this evening. There's something's going to happen, and I don't know what.
But are you optimistic? Are you optimistic?
Yes, I'm very optimistic. I'm optimistic that Donald Trump has the support that he needs based on early voting and the polls.
His team, dude. His team. Let's
They're
talk
incredible.
about his team. Let's talk about Tulsi Gabbard. Let's talk about Elon, Vivek, JD Vance, RFK Jr., which is the biggest get of all. Like, this is it. This is a political team that I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. This is a true unity party. We're never going to see anything like this again. This is our one chance that all of us normies out there who aren't like just fundamental on one side or another have been wanting for a long time. A little bit of unity that actually changes. And this doesn't change the fact that, I mean, the first time I voted for Donald Trump was literally because he was a giant fucking middle finger to the system. And he remains that to this day. And that's a good enough reason for me. But this team, Trump 2.0 is so much better. Like I remember telling Jeremy after the election last time going, if we survive the next 4 years, it's going to end up benefiting Trump. It's going to, because they'll be able to see, okay, you get what you vote for. So, now it's become like the turnout last time was so big that actually this is the most energized I've seen America for voting ever in my life. Usually the turnout's pathetic. And even you'll see the percentages of turnout and you'll go, wait a minute, there's 330 million people in this country and 30 million people voted, or who knows what the number will be. But it's amazing. And I've never seen this before. And, just anecdotally, I'm talking to, I can't name them, but people in Hollywood who were never Trump supporters, who are now fully on board, absolutely fully on board because of RFK, because of Tulsi Gabbard, because he opened up his, whatever this is going to be, a cabinet or whatever, to other ideas, to actually fixing the country. And this is such a no-brainer at this point that it's just we're fighting a woke ideology, a mind virus, a fucking cult at this point, and people are so poisoned with propaganda that they can't even see that they're on the same side as Dick fucking Cheney.
My favorite thing is that Green Day is now on the same side as Dick Cheney and the Bush family. They made a whole fucking album about how much they hated the warmongers of the Bush administration, and now you're on the same side as the Bush administration and the warmongers. It's so fucking hilarious.
Did you see that Babylon Bee headline where Rage Against the Machine is going to play a CIA
Yeah,
benefit?
Green Gay, man. They were never true.
They always sucked.
I always liked Green Day's music, but I always knew they were fucking losers.
Green
But
Gay. Corporate poser,
they are
pieces of shit, commie punks. Fuck.
They're never true punks.
And the fact that so many of these clowns that like Rage is somebody I never listened to, but so it's funny that like Rage Against the Machine is raging for the machine now. You know what I mean? Like it's so
Well, they
weird,
always
man.
were. I mean, those commies are really good capitalists. They own a lot of property. They charged a lot for their tickets and merch. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the fall of so many people. I mean, if you could have I would have never imagined that you were going to tell me that Eminem and Howard Stern would be two of the biggest bitches alive.
Bringing them together is hate.
If they wanted to, they could have. They
5% based.
It's a close victory for Trump.
Yeah, the
But
last
this is
thing you
what we're
want is a
talking
tie.
about,
The
like-
last thing you want is a tie.
I don't know if there's a situation I could come up with where it would be that. I don't think that's going to happen, but
No, I know. I'm just because everybody always debates what happens if it's a tie. What happens if a tie has to go to Congress?
yeah,
No,
so
I
that's
agree with you.
kind of what it is. I'll try to, or Virginia could turn. Like there are things that could happen, but based on what we think will happen,
You think it's
Democrats-
more likely to get Wisconsin or Pennsylvania?
I think that Pennsylvania is the most in play. I think that one is fucking razor thin right now. I think that Pennsylvania is most in play for Trump.
So weird to see the good guys as red, man, because here in Brazil it's the communist color.
Yeah, weird.
I'll turn these back.
What's crazy about like
China.
Wisconsin is it's like all the other states. Everything out of the cities is completely based. Outside of Appleton and fucking Milwaukee, it's.
But the heart of the cities are blue.
Yep, bluer than blue.
Okay, so right now,
and it's because they figured that out, George, a long time ago, and the Republicans did nothing about it.
Oh yeah, they didn't want to.
No.
Decision Desk has Trump with a 76% chance of winning Georgia with 12% of the vote already reported in. So that's a good sign. Again, just a sign is all it is. So just keep that in mind. So, Ryan, I sent you that link on your DMs.
Yeah, man, I sent it too.
So,
yeah. Talking in the chat. Sorry.
You talking
I was
to
just
me?
talking. I'm talking to the chat.
No, Ryan,
He's
I said I
talking to
sent
you.
that link to your DMs. So, but Gary's like, sorry, I'm talking to the chat.
Yeah, Gary's just like responding
I'm
to the
just
chat
fucking
out loud.
responding to chat. They said Madison's blue, and I said you're right.
Just so everybody understands, this is Gary's first stream. It's the first time he's been in front of a big audience, so he's
No,
probably
whatever.
a little
At least
nervous.
I'm fucking saying something, and I'm not like staring at the chat going.
he's probably a little nervous, kind of like how I
Yeah.
was.
So okay.
But we do have over 10,000 people here just on YouTube. We have another 1,500 over on Rumble. We have a pretty big audience on our Locals page. And, of course, if you have not, you can go follow us over there on Locals. No, it's not a dating site.
Media pollsters, all the names you know, the NBCs, the ABCs, Reuters, Ipsos, Morning Consult.
Florida right now, and it is hard to keep up with all the information because there's just so much coming in at any particular time. Go ahead, Ryan.
And I was going to say, too, one of the things that I've kind of been keeping an eye on, especially with places like Duval County, 2020, we're making comparisons to that, but 2022 was a pretty important election in Florida, where we saw that take off from the margins that we saw in 2020 to 2022. Obviously, with the House races, with the Ron DeSantis race, I think Ron DeSantis won Duval County something like 54%. I think he won Duval by. So Florida has gotten more red over the course of this 4 years as well.
So I'm looking at Duval. It's got 80% in. And the reason everybody says Duval's a bellwether for Georgia, and I'm interested in how dialed in my state polling is. So I didn't pull Florida, but I did pull Georgia. And I got the last one. It might be ridiculous, but I had Georgia at Trump +6. Back in September, I had Trump +3. If Duval breaks for a Republican, Georgia should be to the right of Duval County, ostensibly, according to folks. Duval looks like Trump's doing 4 points better than he did 4 years ago. That's kind of less than in the other, like Broward, 10 points. Trump's doing 10 points better in Broward. So I don't know. Maybe the precincts that are still coming in Duval are more rural, and maybe this will go up. I was kind of hoping to see a little bit of a bigger spread there, but then maybe the bellwether won't hold up. Oh, what do we got back from Georgia yet? Has anybody looked at the numbers?
So Decision Desk HQ had bumped their chances of him winning the overall election to 65%, and they had the Georgia percentages were really high too. Let me see if I can pull that back up. Georgia numbers, early numbers were looking good. The last that I looked. Let me see if I can find that now.
You can tell that Mark is just so professional media trained because, just a couple minutes ago, I was like, yeah, it looks like the black folks aren't coming out to vote. And Mark's like, urban turnout seems a little bit depressing.
Well, listen, man, come on. I got to bounce back and forth between you guys and Newsmax, and I'm going to ordering, and then I'm going to go back on Right Side Broadcasting.
The brothers aren't coming in today.
Like a roller coaster.
I can tell you I'm in shorts and flip flops though. So
we respect that.
So it's no worse than me, man. I got just pulled out of the shower.
So Mark, real quick, just for the audience, give them a quick pitch. Who are you? What do you do? So they understand what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm the least professional pollster. No, RasmussenReports.com is a public opinion company. Really, everybody knows us from election predictions and polling, but really what we do is we're news journalists. We think it's important that people track what's going on in the heads of voters, and I can tell you they're in a really sick, dark place. The risk of civil war is higher than it's ever been. And how we kind of separated ourselves from the pack to become an industry pariah is in 2016, we were one of the only people that said Donald Trump has a chance, and of course, we nailed that election. And then we also poll on some topics that you're not allowed to talk about, the V word, election integrity, weaponization of the government. And so we're independent. We don't back any candidate, but we're smeared as right-wing pollsters, and we're just trying to be accurate. So we have had this race at Trump +2 this entire time. And I'm telling you, all of these media pollsters, all the names the NBCs and the ABCs, Reuters, Ipsos, Morning Consult, they all tried to shill so hard for Kamala Harris. They had Trump winning in July, Reuters, Ipsos, for instance. They got all the way out to Harris +6, and they finished up at Harris +1. So for all of September, they were literally just trying to give this woman fake momentum. And my numbers were just week after week. Oh, Trump +2. Oh, Trump +2. And it's because everybody knows who Trump is, and they know what the Biden administration is. They do not care who Kamala Harris is, and that's where we're at. And so now it all, for me, just comes down to, right, am I going to be 1 point off, 2 points off? Let's just see. I think there's a chance Donald Trump wins the national popular vote. A lot of that depends on what happens in New York and California. And then also, I showed that the battlegrounds were like roughly tied to Trump up 3, except I had Georgia up 6. I think Trump's going to outperform all of my battleground polling. And so I made the call that I think he's probably going to sweep the battlegrounds, and now we just got to wait and see.
And polls in Pennsylvania just closed. Closed, by the way. Polls in PA have closed, so getting ready. Go ahead, Dan.
Just real quick, the chat's curious what's the V word is, and I'm also curious. Is it something you cannot say on YouTube?
Yes, I guess we can say it. It's safe and effective. It's the world's best contribution. To
Yes, yes.
The COVID jab.
Yeah, the jab,
Absolutely
the jab.
works.
So,
Every
yeah.
time.
Absolutely.
They were all probably thinking vagina, but we're too professional around here to say stuff like that. So,
half of Fulton County's in. Let me look at that.
yeah, we would never we would never say the word vagina on this
Her
channel.
cat was named Vagina.
So,
To follow up though on the Pennsylvania thing, so Philadelphia is about to post election results for 110,000 mail-in ballots, which is about half of the total mail-in ballots, giving us an okay estimation.
Okay. Now, I've got a couple things here because I know Mark's dealing with a lot of information as it's coming in. So this is right here, add to stage. Okay, so Donald Trump has a 76% chance of winning Georgia with 12% of the vote in.
Wow.
And then also Decision Desk has Donald Trump now at a 69.8% chance of winning the overall election based on the information. These numbers will go, this is come and go. But this is based on the early information that we have. And the trends are kind of moving positively in Donald Trump's direction. What you got?
Oh, Polymarket, just all of the whales just got run over by a steamroller.
What happened?
It just blew out in the last hour. I haven't had a chance to go on since before 7. It's 70% Trump, 30% Kamala Harris. So the betting market, the thing about the betting market is they can easily be manipulated, but they're always right at the end. It's just
There it is right there.
Flip, right? So
There it is.
Other, maybe
69.4.
There we go.
The prophecy. The prophecy. Go ahead. Go ahead, Gary.
We have some other breaking news. Representative Anna Luna
Paulina Luna. Let's go.
Luna has won her seat and more importantly, we've won her seat. So
that's right. Yeah, Anna Paulina Luna. Hey, listen, she has a great personality, and we respect her.
Oh man,
Dan, just Google her. You'll be happy. All right, go ahead, Dan.
Really?
So, and Florida has officially been called for President Trump, which not a big shocker there. Valiant Renegade. What up, Valiant?
Hey, it's funny. I was actually just about to call Mark and see if he was going to be on your show tonight. So
You're the reason I'm connected with him now, so I appreciate
text
that.
you and see if you were having a stream. So
I did a short one for about an hour just because I promised my channel members last night we'd come back and do something tonight real quick before I sent everybody out. So like Ron Coleman's show and Cobra Cast and everybody. I didn't want to be up all night. I'd rather come here and let Jeremy and Krista run the show and I just sit back and chill.
Let me calm everybody down right now. Texas is not going blue, okay?
No.
I hate this map that we have. Why do we have this retarded map?
the Florida call is important, everybody. The Florida call,
it is.
Yes. Okay, so let's Mark, tell us about that really quickly.
So back when they were all puffing Harris up to between +4 and +6, one of the things that they like to seed the narrative. Oh, look at all these overseas ballots. Oh, there might be violent attacks on election day in polling centers. Well, one of the ones they said is, Kamala Harris is within striking distance in Florida, which is totally BS. And here Trump is up 11 points in Florida. So the narratives were 11 points off. And so everybody said, oh, Texas is going to go blue. I pulled Texas. I got +6. I think that was way too left. I think we're going to see a massive lead in Texas too for Trump as well. So they were lying, and I think the polls are too left.
And here's your buddy, Rich. Donald Trump is now exceeding our polling margin in Florida, which I could not believe to be possible. So that's what you're talking about. He's overperforming in Florida, which shows us trends. So we knew he was going to win Florida. That wasn't the question. But if he's overperforming in Florida and overperforming in blue counties, what is it, Gary?
Dan is looking at
What is it, Gary? That wasn't the question. But if he's overperforming in Florida and overperforming in blue counties, what is it, Gary?
Dan is
shows us trends. So we knew he was going to win Florida. That wasn't the question. But if he's overperforming in Florida and overperforming in blue counties, what is it, Gary?
Dan is looking at
She's a former stripper, man. You guys knew that? You guys know that?
Yes, Dan, we knew.
Well, now we know how Dan really hurt his fingers.
Bro, politics, man.
You should get into politics.
Oh God,
Mark,
dude, you should see what they have in the Italian Parliament, dude. It is a
porn
freak show. Okay, yeah.
For real?
Go ahead, Ryan.
I was just gonna say I don't understand how anyone legitimately could have thought there was ever a chance for Kamala in Florida. This is a state that in 2022 Ron DeSantis won by 20 points.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was, if you remember that first night, like we really did think maybe there was going to be a big red wave in 2022, and it started with Florida and all these different counties dropping, with Ron DeSantis overperforming in all these blue counties as well. So you know, the idea that in 2 years that had changed, I just never saw that as the case.
Jeremy did my video. These people grasped at that ridiculous Iowa poll, so that's how low they've sunk. I mean, you got to understand the level of desperation here.
Is this Florida margin, what is this, about double what it was in 2020, right? From 5.5 to about 11?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it was a lot closer. So I don't know if this is legit or not, but Donald Trump could flip Virginia outright if this holds. A nearly 9-point shift to the right in Loudoun County, Virginia, means this election is over. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing right now. I don't know. We're gonna have to look a little further into that.
So I'm not 100% certain, obviously. Like, I don't want to call that, but so I actually live near Loudoun County. I know a lot of people who work there. That's where I have a lot of my insight for all of the tech guys that I know. And the CEO of Salesforce is red. There's a lot of people, too, within multiple of the government agencies who have kept quiet, who felt like they couldn't say who they were voting for, but it's overwhelmingly Trump.
Yeah.
They're breaking it down right now, actually.
Yeah, like Loudoun County is going to surprise people. Like right now, it looks like it's going blue. Like
let's listen. Here they go right here.
Right now, it's 56% in Loudoun County.
Yeah,
so
here we go.
Clearly, that didn't hold.
How it computes here on the computer with 4 years ago, that's a slip about 4.5 points for Kamala Harris in that county.
It's not a
and Harold,
turn.
maybe it is the issues in the schools. Maybe it is the transgender issue that the Trump team
guys, I gotta bounce
so much during this
Okay,
campaign.
Mark. Hey, thanks for stopping by, man.
Yeah, I'll
We
hop in a
appreciate
little
it.
later.
Yeah,
Man,
you've got the link,
Fulton
man. Pop back in here whenever you can, man. So
yeah. All right, bye.
Have a good one, man.
Hey, I know we're all into the numbers, but I have to address something in the chat because they're getting on me. Well, at least I'm going to be drunk 3PO here as one person.
You're literally me during Friday Night Tights.
Yeah,
like
right.
all you're
So-
doing is fucking with the chat.
No, they're fucking with me. Somebody's like, you got a blue shirt on. Bro, this is a Bucky shirt. This is the citadel of the free market and capitalism. It's fucking heaven.
Lone
It's
Star
space
State.
heaven, okay?
And Red's communist in Brazil. So.
East of Atlanta.
All right, let's
the
listen to
south.
this.
Now, the Fox Insight here, right? Okay, that's Baldwin County. The county seat in Baldwin County is Milledgeville. It was the Confederate capital of Georgia during the Civil War. Now, our Fox Insights tell us right now, look at this, okay? It has 2 colleges in this county. The African-American population is about 44% countywide. Trump right now, at this moment, with 84% of the vote reported in Baldwin County, he's up 7.5 points from where he was in 2020. You know, the Trump team's going to take that. Likewise, okay, the metro area of Atlanta, let me pop out here. You got 26 counties to concentrate on. But the Harris folks are telling us in Douglas County is that she's performing better than Biden did 4 years ago, okay? These are suburban voters all over the Atlanta metro area. So she's a net gain of 18,267 right now. All right, you got about a quarter of the vote still out there. Biden finished in Douglas County with a net gain of 17,360. That would be good news for the Harris campaign if this number holds there in Douglas County. Let me pop out here a moment and show you another thing here that we were looking at.
Wait, can you stay in Georgia for 1 second?
I can.
Decision Desk continues to go up with the now they're up to 72.3% of President Trump's chance of winning the overall election right now. I don't know where they're getting that information from.
11% in 2020, and now at 25%, according to these 2 surveys today.
So that may sync up with what.
Well, it's starting to match the raw vote.
That may sync up with what we're seeing now in Fulton County. Now, you got almost half the votes still out there, okay? Yep. 52% is the estimated number of votes that are in at the moment, okay? So roughly 48% out there. This is Fulton County. This is Kamala Harris. She's going to win the county, okay? But look at the raw vote total here. It's impressive, 129,000. But look what Joe Biden did in the same county, okay? 242,000. You'd have to go into the precincts to know where the rest of the remaining vote comes from, and maybe we take a look at that in a moment here. But that would be, you're one of 159 in terms of population. So maybe what you're saying, Brett, about the African-American male vote there is true in places like Fulton County, Georgia. Just want to caution you, there's still a lot of vote out there.
Yeah, there's
But we
half
need to
the
keep a
vote
very
out in
close eye
Fulton
on
County.
counties
Yeah.
right now
Like,
into the night.
actually
here
less than
in
half on
Georgia.
that total number.
And Bill, do you have any indication that turnout is a bit lower than 2020? Because that would affect some of what you're doing in these comparisons as well.
I can tell you this, Martha. Before Election Day, Brad Raffensperger, the Secretary of State, set up an awesome website. And I mean, just county by county with the early vote. I was on there every hour of every day just trying to analyze it. One thing that was evident from the early vote, don't know about today just yet, but based on the early vote, the African-American population in Georgia is about 33% statewide. What the political analysts will argue is that you need, in order to win statewide as a Democrat, you need 30% of that vote. And the early vote indicated that Kamala Harris was just a tick above 26%. So that's another indicator, maybe another data point that we need to keep an eye on throughout the night as to what Brett was talking about a moment ago.
Brett, what are you looking at?
Well, I've been keeping an eye on this issue that was raised in our voter analysis. It said that fully half of all voters said the future democracy.
I think he just farted.
The most important factor.
Hang on.
That's a lot of
He
people.
farted.
Now,
Brett Baer just jumped in.
Seconds.
Was
it Brett Baer?
The future democracy is the most important factor in their vote. That's a big number, and that's a lot of people worried about that. Now, Trump gets some of those votes.
Did we miss it?
But 60%
I think it was.
Yeah, go back more, like
I think
15
that
seconds.
Future democracy
More than that.
voter analysis. Democracy.
More than that.
Voter analysis. Well, I've been keeping an eye on this issue that was raised in our voter analysis. Democracy is the most important. I've been keeping an eye.
It's Brett Fume. I'm surprised he didn't pull my finger. Dude.
Okay, like,
Monica.
if I had my normal 3,000 people watching me, I'd be like, whatever. The fact that like 12,000 people total are watching and we're laughing at fart jokes right now, again, low expectations for this show. Okay, guys, low expectations. Here we go.
Into something positive
And
for
if
him
you
tonight.
work your way back to what that's about January 6th.
Bro. Can I clarify
And the price
something?
he paid
Knocked
politically.
his glasses.
Okay, so right now, I'm just getting more and more nervous, bro. I'm just getting more and more nervous. Loudoun County, where did it go? You know what I hate about Twitter? You know how when you're on your feed and you click it and then it disappears? That's exactly what just happened to me with a Loudoun County tweet, so now I got to find it. So where did it go? I have no idea where it went. I don't even know whose tweet it was, so I can't even repeat it.
Let's see if the guy farts again.
I think everybody needs to temper your expectations right now. Okay, just temper your expectations because there's a lot of information
Our
that's flowing
democracy's
right now.
pretty sturdy. Our checks and balances worked. The thing was over in a matter of hours, and yet here we are. It's still a factor.
And here we are with a political rise from January 7th, 2021 to a candidate who is at least tied and in a good position and has a path to 270 to win the White House. Stand by, panel, if you would.
Speaking of that, let's go check in with Aisha Hasni at the Trump campaign headquarters. She is in West Palm Beach, Florida tonight. What's the mood over there? Long way to go tonight, but how are
She's
things
a
looking,
great
Aisha?
personality.
Hello there.
Things are looking good here. The
Yes,
crowd
they
behind
are.
me
Yes,
still
they
hasn't
are.
really filled up the convention center, and that's because I'm told that there's a long security line. Apparently, a lot of folks are at the Hilton partying right next door and still haven't made their way over, and that's because there's a really long security line. They got to go through the mags before they get in here. So that is what's holding up the people, the spaces that you see behind me, and why that hasn't filled up just yet. I want to just talk about, you guys were on the big screen when you called Florida in here, and everybody erupted into a cheer. I was just talking to Congressman Mike Waltz of Florida, of the great state of Florida, and he was telling me how it was a record early vote turnout, and that's why. And he thinks that's going to resonate across the country today. People are going to come out and vote for Trump. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Aisha.
Aisha, thanks. Let's check in with Jackie Heinrich. She's at the Harris campaign headquarters in Washington, D.C. Hi, Jackie.
We don't care about them. So, Okay, so real quick, this is what I was talking about with Loudoun County right here. So Biden won that one by 25 points, or 25%. And then you have Harris that's won it by 17 with 95% still, so there's 5% out there, but that's a pretty big swing right there. Yeah. And again, these are the small trends that we're talking about where the country is moving more into a conservative Republican direction. So that's what we have to take from that. Somebody's going to say something?
I'm looking at it right now. As a matter of fact, I've got with 96.99% reporting, Harris at 56.68, Trump at 40.42. So it's really only about a 16% shift or swing, or 16% variance between Harris and Trump in Loudoun County. So you're talking about almost an 8 to 9 point again shift to the right. The trend lines just seem to be bearing out in a number of places here.
Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna we'll have to see how this goes, but these are the small little things that I am paying attention to right now. But let's see, what is this? Okay, so independent voters exit poll for Pennsylvania. Trump is a +6 right now.
Ooh.
That's beautiful.
That's fucking big.
That's say NBC exit polls?
NBC exit poll. So NBC. Yeah.
NBC.
So, yeah. So that's big right there. But again, it's just one exit poll. So again, don't overreact to positive news. Don't overreact to negative news. Just take it for what
Jeremy's
it is.
saying this to himself, by the way, Chad.
You're goddamn right. I am. Yes, I am. I'm trying to keep myself in check. Because
did you guys know? Did you guys know that there's an entire subreddit dedicated to hot politicians?
I love it.
All right, hold on.
Is there like four girls on it? Have you seen our politicians too?
Tulsi Gabbard.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Gay dudes jacking off to Gavin Newsom. And 3 of the accounts are Tim Walz.
No, it's mostly women.
Yeah, it is.
Or you think they are.
Yeah. It's important to look at some of these trends and also kind of acknowledge like some of the other ones, like the one that Bill pulled up there on Fox News. Like I don't think that one was actually I actually think that was like good news for Kamala that they pulled up in that one county in Georgia. Based on the vote crunch was only 52% reporting. I think he kind of didn't realize that when he brought it up initially. We'll see. I think the thing's
well, look at this though. So Clay Travis right here, huge if accurate. So exit polls, Trump at 25% with black men in Georgia. So that's that's insane if that's true. That is a crazy number in Georgia. We're now, just so everybody understands, we're now kind of in the middle of a lot of craziness. Like we're in the, if this was a hurricane, all right, the eye is getting close. We're in the center of this shit and we're starting to figure out how this is all going to play out.
You can't get that kind of analysis on Fox News. We're in the middle of the shit.
Not at all.
This is it.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I think the next 2-ish hours or so, it's going to be a lot of just sitting here waiting as more of the vote comes in from places like Georgia and North Carolina. And now that Pennsylvania started, like that's what the next couple hours I think are going to be before the polls close in a place like, Nevada and Arizona. Obviously Wisconsin and Michigan coming up as well. But
this is the only time I miss being in the Pacific time zone because I won't be up all night.
Yeah, I mean, oh my God. Sorry. Something on my timeline. It's 2 dudes kissing. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's that ad or whatever. Yeah.
Is it an ad? Is that what it is?
It's an ad. It's been.
Oh, it is an ad for Kamala. What the fuck?
Yeah. They go for it based on your interests, man.
Wow.
It's algorithmic.
Gary saw it first. So.
Oh man.
Gary saw it first. You know what? Screw you, chat. No. Screw you, chat. All right, chat. There you go, chat. Fuck you. Here we go. You all right? Y'all want to do me like that? There we go. Here you go, chat. There.
No!
There it is. And it's Grum's fault. It's Grum's fault.
Oh, look at that.
Damn it, Grums. So
Wait,
there
that's
you
an
go.
ad
All
for- Hold on.
It's an ad
Leave
from
it there for a little
2018.
while.
Yeah, you gotta cleanse about there.
So
Unsubbed.
I'm sharing
Unsubbed.
my screen. I have I guess this is the election integrity map. You can go to electionintegritymap.com, and Steven Crowder is doing live updates to it to
Is there
track
an erection
an issue.
integrity map?
Huh?
Yeah.
Is there an erection integrity map?
Oh gosh. Yeah, we need to watch that too. But
Okay, do not listen,
That
Gary.
used to be quarterback
Gary.
Garrett's job.
Gary.
Crowder.
Don't get Savvy started, okay? You already know. You've had her on
normal.
enough time.
You guys have been so naughty all night. I'm
Oh,
sitting
naughty.
here,
We're
nitpicking.
naughty people.
Naughty boys.
Naughty
Yeah,
boys.
I'm doing my autisms.
Oh man. All right, so we are currently keeping out. All right, so go ahead and talk us through this.
So it's an interactive map that you can go and interact with. And he's doing live updates of all of the reports for any potential election interference, voter manipulation, and then they're also doing live updates, obviously, for what's being actually called. I apologize for Maryland always being Maryland. Sorry about that. That's where I live.
Fucking Maryland.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Keep
No,
keep
there's
keep
lots
that
of
up. Keep that up. Keep your screen up. But I'm just share mine for a minute.
Yeah.
Right here. We're almost certainly winning Pennsylvania. Mail-in is a disaster for Democrats in Pittsburgh. Nearly a 20% shift to the right from 2020.
Ooh.
Again, that's just information. Okay.
No, it's
Just
great information. It's not good.
It's like, don't be happy.
Keep your
Don't be
keeping
happy.
the keeping the.
about that. No, you kind of like get the energy out of it.
What I'm saying is, I don't really know. I know who Eric is. I don't know who this Christian Hines is or whatever. I
Let
don't,
George
so,
be happy.
So
Yeah, why are you messing with George's?
here's some good news. Quelndar on locals just dropped
Quelndar.
a $500
Ryan is going to
super
the
chat
furry
on
convention.
locals. Woo!
Well done.
Holy crap!
So, how far are you away from Ryan going to the furry convention?
It doesn't do shit for
Nah,
it.
it's got to be so. It's specifically about individual supporters. We need 25
Oh.
and there's no gifted over there like there is on YouTube. So that's why Ryan's very confident
More
it's not going to
importantly,
happen.
who is Ryan going with to this convention?
Jay.
Oh,
Trump
my
3PO.
God. So you need to like document the road trip. They have to drive. You
100%.
cannot let
Like,
them
no,
fly. They
we're
have
putting
to drive.
full production behind this. If we hit 2,500 members on locals, Geeks and Gamers locals, they're going. We're putting full production on there.
Oh, let's make
And the
this happen.
and the supporters on locals actually have more input. They can add to it if they want. So we'll see. Anyway,
Are you going with
Watching
them to
Ryan
produce
suffer
it?
brings me so much joy. You
yeah,
have no idea.
yeah.
Are you
Yes.
going to produce it? Are you going with him? Shoot it? Do the whole?
We'll see what the people say. If the people will
Oh, I
probably
think
tell
you
me I
should
have to
go.
go. So
I
the
think you
peop-
should go.
Yeah, I personally don't want to go. To be honest with you.
It's going to take 5 years for us to hit that goal. I ain't fucking worried. I might not be alive at that time. YouTube might not
Yeah,
be a
he's
platform
one
anymore.
bad-
I'm not worried.
One bad Taco Bell order from not being with us anymore.
Okay, so talk to us through this really quick, Savvy. What you're looking at? You're muted.
He's muted.
Woman.
Which
Yeah,
would be like
hello.
the
Yeah, I
normal
knew
mode
myself.
for women.
That way I don't autism all over you. So basically, well, there's really nothing else to say. This is just a nifty election integrity map. I tried to click on something. It's very slow loading because I guess a lot of people are on it. But so they're live updating everything, and then you can see all of the reports, and it's going to show it to you there. I'm assuming it's still loading. It's going to pull up like actual details of everything. I'm surprised that there's issues in Nebraska.
Those
but...
are reports for fraud?
Yeah, so
No,
this would be all suspicious activity. So
Literally
there's
like,
things
hey, the
tabulator
machine broke in
malfunctions.
our fucking voting place, and they had to
Right.
ship in another one. Hey, there's really long
Anything
lines here.
abnormal.
Yeah,
Right.
machines malfunctioning, Chinese interference, bomb threats, whatever this ballot is, the burning ballots that we saw up here. From
All
a
right,
few
so I
days
know everybody
ago.
was freaking out over Texas. So we got 28% reporting from Texas, 53% Trump, 45% Harris. Texas will be red. Don't worry. It's a matter of how red will it be. Although Texas has been trending
That's just
away from
Austin.
being a dominant red state, but it's going to be red. So don't
That's
worry
because
about
of all
that.
the Californians moving there to Austin.
Yeah, damn Gary.
Damn, Gary.
What?
You caused this.
Oh,
and that's what I said at the beginning, right? A lot of states, like what they count win, like has a big impact on when these things start rolling in.
Right.
Which is why you're going to see some states that might look very solid right now start to change and maybe lean towards Harris, and the opposite as well. So
I think one thing you have to consider that I used to float out there just hoping it would be true, and I think it might actually be a little true, is a lot of the people who fled to Florida and Texas are people who are going to fortify those states. I think there's a lot of red in California. Unfortunately, thanks to its redistricting, it'll never take power again. So I think millions of people left, and they came to Texas, like me, to fortify Texas. So I think that might be a little factor in that you're getting the Californians whose Republican votes they cast them, but it really didn't do anything. And now their vote has power in a state where you have a fighting chance.
That is true. So right here, Justin, New York Times gives Trump a 65% chance of winning Arizona, 66% in Georgia, and 57% in North Carolina. And joining us is Josiah Rises. What's up, Josiah?
Hey, what's up, Josiah, guys? Hollywood is fleeing Hollywood in droves. I know that from you, buddy.
Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too, man.
How you feeling?
Cautiously optimistic. I'm still a little nervous that I'm going to be nervous until it's called for Trump. If it is called for Trump, that's just not going to change. But so far, everything is looking pretty good. Even seeing things like the shift in Virginia towards Trump is a good sign from what it was in 2020. So right now, I'm very cautiously optimistic.
Yep. Let's see. Good to hear. Now, just
a little bit.
So, okay.
I'll be right back.
All right. Okay, man. Decision Desk went from a 72% for Trump winning. Now they're at a 62% chance of Trump winning. So just again, this is what I'm talking about with it's going to shift around a lot. So that's the latest update from it right there. So it is, again, 62 is still good, but it's obviously down from 72. And these numbers are going to continue to fluctuate as the night goes on. So let's see if I'm caught up here. Let's hear what they're having to say right now.
Under Biden-Harris policies, including flooding our country with cash we did not need. It was fun for regular folks when you got the stimmy check and went to the mall, but now everyone outside of the top 20% suffering big time.
May I add one thing, Martha, to the comment on jobs? Because here, too, it goes right back to policy, and that is the open border policy. The open border has not just had the effect on national security and our own personal security. The open border is an economic issue. For the last several years, what we have been seeing is an increase in jobs for non-citizens, illegal and legal, and a decrease in jobs for American citizens. That's important. People understand.
Kevin O'Leary just.
I say we deport him and send him all to fucking Brazil.
She has talked a lot about being from the middle class. That was the first sentence out of her mouth a lot.
There's Kevin O'Leary.
Trump has been promising a golden age in an American economic future. What do you see winning?
Who would imagine he would be the most likable Shark Tank
I was
person?
disciplined when I was listening to both parties, and
I always
disappointed
liked
we
him.
didn't get into policy enough because it got crazy towards the end last few weeks. Let's go back to taxation. We compete internationally. It's not like this is just isolated to the U.S. A 28% tax rate takes us into the bottom quartile of competition. That means capital goes to other places. That's not a good outcome. So I would have liked to talk more about that. The idea of taxing unrealized capital gains is beyond insane. Nobody ever discussed that in the last 2 weeks. I look at that. I have to invest tomorrow morning no matter what happens. And the idea of price controls, that's a bad idea, too. We left those alone, and they are very, very dangerous ideas.
But don't you think, I mean, with all due respect, Trump hammered away on every single thing you just talked about. He completely opposes the corporate tax.
All I remember was Nazi hunters, and I remember firing squads.
Well, then you need to read you need to read the stories more carefully.
Shut the fuck up, guys. Larry, Maria, Charles, Mr. Wonderful, continue
Duke it out.
We're going to make some calls.
That's because the hour is upon us, 8:30 p.m. on the East Coast, and the Fox Decision Desk can now project that former President Trump will win Arkansas.
Beardo's
The state
back.
hasn't voted
What's
for a
up,
Democratic
Beardo?
presidential
How's it
candidate
going?
since Bill Clinton.
And as you look at
Gary's
the
not
race
shit.
to 270,
Hell.
as it ticks up, 111 for former
Mississippi,
President Trump,
Alabama,
72
Tennessee,
for
Oklahoma
Vice
all
President
get
Harris.
called.
That'll be on your screen all night, and the ticker there on the bottom, and then we'll scroll through the races by state. We'll look at Senate races, some House races, and governor's races
Arkansas was
as
getting
well. We're back
hammered
with our
by
panel
tornadoes.
here in studio. I think, Britt, they're still talking about the economy in that other studio. I think they're pretty much.
So I saw the fart gate.
I kind of wish
Yeah.
we missed it. Sorry, we missed it.
It was Brit.
Brit Fume.
Brit Fume.
Definitely a fart.
Jeremy, whenever you get a second, I got something to share with you here. I'm looking at this is really getting fascinating.
Okay, go for it. Let's share it.
I got it backstage here. If you want to pull it up.
Right here. Okay. Got it.
So, whoops, there we go. Okay, so I'm on the Fox News map, right? This is the map that they're using on TV. I've been watching for the last 20 minutes here. Trump has gone from down 4 to 5 in Virginia to now he's ahead about 1%. And what's getting me is the fact that you look at where the population centers are, especially the Democrat strongholds. Of course, we talked about Loudoun County, Fairfax, Virginia, where FBI, Department of Defense, all that is, big Democrat spots. Prince William, a lot of that's already been reported. And there's still a lot of red out here that still has a ways to go. I mean, you got other stuff out there like Roanoke, and you come down here to like where Norfolk is.
Yeah, where's Norfolk and Suffolk, places like that? That's what I want to know.
Norfolk, he's right down Newport City News. I think this is all Norfolk right here.
What's the percent in? See, like Newport News, heavy black, very poor population. I used to have to go to work there. That's only 10% in.
But when you look at it, the
around
number
those,
of votes there compared to some of these other places, 43% here. There's still a lot out there. I'm not saying he's going to walk away with this, but it's obviously, as of right now, it's going to be a whole lot closer than 10 to 13% like 4 years ago. And I think there's still a chance there. And you look at Georgia, you're starting to get a lot of. You got 69% now, Fulton County. So that's Atlanta. That's the big Atlanta one. And of course, you got DeKalb right here. That's still out. Gwinnett is still just starting to come in. But I can't remember what they said the margin was that she needed or that Biden had in 2020 for Fulton County. But that's not looking like that's it.
That's going to be crazy, and that's a trend that we're going to have to pay attention to. I'm also trying to look like Pennsylvania's obviously Pennsylvania's the thing, and I'm trying to get more information on that. And that one account that I showed you, they're posting quite a bit about Pennsylvania. Go ahead.
I was going to say right now officially you've got 7.73. It's totally lopsided because of course what's reporting right now, what you're starting to get in is Chester and Delaware. You're starting to get some in from Philadelphia County. So that's all the heavy Democrat areas. Obviously, the bulk of the state, which is red, is still not there yet.
And I believe they announced initially that I think 110,000 votes or whatever first were going to be like mail-in ballots that came in early. So you would assume that a lot of those would be heavy Harris as it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean.
Charlie Kirk just tweeted out, says NBC exit polls have independents at +6 Republican. If this is remotely accurate, Kamala is going to have a very tough time pulling out a win in Pennsylvania. So again, we're just going on the information of if that is even true with those exit poll numbers.
Speaking
Go ahead.
of Pennsylvania, the Daily Mail and others are reporting that a Pennsylvania voting site has to be evacuated as disruptors try to upset election results.
Can you say where it's from?
Wood County.
If you drop a link in the private chat, that would be great. We can just cover it there.
Here's the actual
Ryan, if
article.
you can share. Ryan, if you can grab. I don't know if you. I know Ryan, you got to leave here soon for a bit, right?
Yeah, I got like 20 minutes or so. I'll be back later though.
Okay, but if you can you get that link that she's got?
Or
Beardo.
Belafonte. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at names.
The Daily Mail one.
Harry Belafonte.
we have a Beardo, so don't worry about
County in Belafonte.
Okay. Let's see what any updates here. There is so much information right now. Okay, what is this? So hang on, let me show you guys this really quick. Trump nearly outperformed party split on Philly mail ballots were dim 82 plus 8. Hang on, let me just pull this tweet up. Okay. Harris wins, so I don't know what that means exactly. So no bonus for the independents. So he's like, so you're telling me that PA independents who voted by mail in Pittsburgh hardly backed Harris? Oh my, let's see where this goes. So that's essentially what that means. So PA independents who voted by mail didn't back Harris in strong numbers. That's another trend. That's a good thing, but we'll see. I haven't heard any decision desk updates either in terms of any predictions or anything like that. Let's see. All right, election alert. Oh, that was earlier. Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so that that report is coming from basically from State College, like Penn State area, like center of the. I have no idea in terms of outlook. I'd probably have to go to Fox News and see what that county typically looks like. But that's where that's from, center of the state.
Okay.
It's not like Philly or Pittsburgh or anything like that.
So, flip alert. Trump is on pace to flip Baldwin County, Georgia. Would be the first time GOP has won the county since 2004. The county is 41% African American. So, that's big if that happens. That's from Election Wizard, by the way.
It would kind of track along with black people not coming out to vote as well. And the ones that do are supporting Trump a little more. Yep. I do think that Baldwin County, it is very small relatively. It's like, I think you probably, like, I think when they were pulling up those votes, you're talking about 10, 12, 13,000 votes a piece for them. But little insight.
I'm hearing some reports that I saw a report that Harris won New Jersey. Has anybody else seen that real quick? Let's see what Fox News has to say.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too.
Okay.
At Pennsylvania, where Alexandria Hoff is in Newtown tonight. Hi, Alexandria.
Hi, good to be with you. You know, in theory, polls have closed, but that is not the case everywhere. You have Cambria County, for example, a judge there ordered that the poll hours must be extended to 10 p.m. That's due to a machine issue earlier in the day. And then in Luzerne County, there's one polling location that's staying open till 9:30. That's in Laughlin for similar issues. The DNC also made a legal push to try to keep polls open in Northampton County later. That actually ended up being denied by a judge. That was due to there being very long lines of Lehigh University students there and polling issues as well. So yeah, in theory, polls have closed, but once again, if you are in line, even by that deadline, you are still able to cast a ballot, guys. We'll send it back to you.
Hey, Alex, thanks. Let's check in with Bill Hemmer. Listen, bounce around. We've got Virginia, you've got Texas, you've got a number of things happening. Ohio.
Yeah, let's get to it, okay? So this is Georgia. I just want to set this up for a moment here. She's performing slightly better than Biden in Douglas County. There's all the metro counties of Georgia. Slightly better in Cobb County. I still see a little of a sticky move here in Fulton County, okay? And maybe that becomes significant because of how many people live there. The problem here is that you've got DeKalb County, nothing reporting because the polls were suspended from that threat. So this is the first number I've seen from Gwinnett, all right? You're 16% in. She got about 60% of the votes, so a lot of the vote still remains out there. Let's move away from Georgia as requested. This is kind of interesting, guys. I mean, a lot of you folks live in the Washington, D.C. area. And right now, this is, you know, with 40% of the vote in Virginia, the Commonwealth here, Donald Trump's got an edge here, okay? That's 8,000 raw votes. That's 0.4 percentage points. Here's the catch, however. You know, a lot of this map's starting to fill in. This right here across from Washington, D.C. is Fairfax County, all right? Fairfax County is number 1 out of 133 counties in Virginia based on population. At the moment, you still have at least half of the vote still outstanding. And you see, you know, Kamala Harris was 67%. You would expect that in Fairfax. I'm just making the argument there's a lot of votes still out there, and it may determine whether or not the margin statewide hangs where it is right now or whether or not it changes, okay? So watch that. You mentioned Texas. Let's jump on down there, and I'll tell you what's going on in Texas, all right? Too soon to call. Half of the vote is in. Half of the estimated vote is
way
in
too
at 51%.
close.
Trump's got a
There's
lead
a lot
right
of
now.
areas, though, that they haven't, red areas they haven't gotten to.
5 points, okay? So that's kind of what a lot of the pollsters had in Texas thus far this year. I'm going to come back to Georgia in a moment. Let me just see what's happening in Pennsylvania because this is critical, too. All right, so a ton of vote out there, by the way. I mean, there's no conclusions at the Keystone State. You're at 11%. I would keep an eye on Pittsburgh. I'd keep an eye on Philadelphia. In fact, if we can, do we have a moment here? Why don't we go ahead and do the vote? Let's go ahead and do that, right? Let's do the vote margin for Pennsylvania.
He looks like as overwhelmed as we are running.
Do we have a moment here? Why don't we go ahead and do the vote? Let's go ahead and do that, right? Let's do the vote margin
What?
for Pennsylvania.
He looks like as overwhelmed as we are running the street. Go ahead, Ryan.
Fucking AI
What we've
thing.
done
You had to
here
make sure they were ready.
I know.
We tried to set up the state in a way where the more prominent counties are more extended than the others. So you see Philadelphia in the east and Pittsburgh and Allegheny County in the west. And the darker the
So we're
blue,
going to do this, yeah?
the more
Yeah, you want to do it?
Democratic
Okay,
the
let's do
vote
it.
is. The darker the red, the more Republican the vote is. If you see shades of blue, that means the margin in that county is 10% or less.
This is like
If you see
Gary
a
doing
shade
an
of
ad
red,
read.
like a rosé, it's happy hour somewhere. If you see a shade of rosé, that's 10% or less too. So those are counties that we want to watch. Let's look at the vote margin
hell's
now
rosé?
for Georgia.
Some Mexican.
This is
gardener?
interesting, right? So we just went over there on the
fucking
board
foreigner.
and
What are
showed
you
you the metro
doing here?
counties throughout Atlanta. Let's find
Type of
out where
wine.
the outstanding vote for Georgia is at the moment.
Fucking Portuguese.
So what we want to do here, the deeper the purple, the more outstanding votes. So you can go to the more populated counties, perhaps like DeKalb County.
Colorblind mode.
You can look at DeKalb on the map, 0% in the upper
the
right-hand
map.
corner. Can't know anything from DeKalb. What
This
about,
is a bunch of
This is a bunch of gobbledygook to tell us we don't know anything, and
I
we're
will
just
say
wasting
this
time.
on the biggest,
This is above you guys' level here.
I will just say one thing. This is a small little victory for the chat, but the biggest streaming day of the entire year. This is the most super chatted channel in the entire world. We're ranking #1. We've ranked
Let's
number
go.
one for the entire world. That's never happened on this channel.
Looking forward
Fucking
for my
shit,
50%.
chat. I'm giving everybody something except for Dan Vask. So everybody gets a little except for Dan Vask. So fuck him.
I get a lot, not a
I have
little.
an update.
Okay, go for it.
NBC is reporting, one of the local NBCs up in Rhode Island. So this percentage is important to note.
Okay.
With 82% precincts reporting in Rhode Island, Kamala Harris has 50.7% to 46% for Donald Trump. If that holds, it's not nearly the 20% margin that Biden had over Trump in Rhode Island 4 years ago.
That's a good trend right there. Very good trend.
Anything up in New England like that, where you're talking about single-digit Democrat wins, that
Absolutely.
is fucked up.
Yeah.
That is really, I mean, that is, it should be way more.
Yeah, that's big right there. So I'm trying to see what some of these odds that are rolling in, because I'm interested. Let's see. Yeah, so we've got, thank you, Harley Dave. Just in, Pennsylvania voting site evacuated for disruptors trying to, that's what you said earlier. So that is now starting to make the rounds with what we're seeing. Let's go back over to this, okay?
Yeah, who are the disruptors? That's
Yeah, exactly. Probably some feds.
Yeah.
They probably all look like Ryan, so. Let's see.
You were talking about Texas being close earlier. It looks like that most of the main cities are some of the first ones that they had counted. So
Correct.
Yeah. So I mean, the rest of Texas is probably going to be pretty red.
Yeah, Ryan was talking about that earlier. Like the same thing
Bro,
happened in 2001.
The most Nintendo shit ever has just happened. They're dropping hints about the Switch 2 right now. Seriously. The president of Nintendo is dropping Switch 2 information. That's the most Nintendo shit ever.
Wait, Jeremy, there's a reason why, is because in 2020 on election night, everybody was Googling Switch at 3 in the morning.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So the president of Nintendo announces the successor to the Nintendo Switch will be backwards compatible, which is really fucking good news, by the way.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so leave it to Nintendo.
Let's go live in Geeks and Gamers.
Hey guys, the biggest election in the world's going on. Let's just drop some Nintendo Switch news. Like what? Good Lord, absolutely insane. All right, let's go back to this Ohio, because I don't know if we've had any updates as to what's going on in Ohio.
65% of the votes.
If anybody's the
for
bounce
Joe
or anything, just
Biden
let me
there.
know.
So
Like, you
a
might
little
just
bit
take
of the
care of
vote still out there, but she is overperforming Biden's number from 4 years ago. And this, I'll just finish up here, guys. Cuyahoga, to check this. Heavily Democratic, 3-1 Democratic votes in Cleveland, Ohio. Cuyahoga, just about a third of the vote right now is in. And Kamala Harris, 71%. and Biden was at 66. So that'd be a good number for Kamala Harris if indeed that holds up. And I think that kind of tells us a little bit about why this number is closer than it's been the last 2 times around.
You want to talk to your co-anchor, Dana?
Well, one of the things I think is pretty interesting is especially when you're looking at or considering the political realignment that we're living in, and also the population changes, right? So post-COVID, people leaving the north and the Midwest and going south.
We need to do a review of Dana Perino's face when Brit Hume farted. I think that'll give us some good info on what exactly happened. And if there was like a delayed reaction to the stench.
Frustrated that they moved there. That's not happening in the South. So if people are leaving the Northeast and moving to Florida, they're not all of a sudden bringing a bunch of Democratic politics with them. So there might be a little bit of a change here to watch in the numbers there. The other thing I wanted to say is that one of the things I think we're seeing, especially with some of these lower propensity voters, or whatever we're calling them, unlikely voters, is that the policy of the Biden-Harris administration pushed them into politics and into voting.
What's up, Mark? How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm starting to lose my voice already.
Yeah, I hear you on that. All right, what if you are seeing any things? I know you've been bouncing all over the place. So, what's your latest take on all of this?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been talking this whole time.